All right, baseball back in Montreal. The whole city's talking about it, and I brought in two more talking heads, two guys that talk a lot about baseball. We have Elias Makos, familiar face from Breakfast Television, and Terry Haig is with us today. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, Wilder.
So what was your initial reaction when you first heard that baseball will be back in the Big O?
Well, I'm ashamed to say that the anger rose up again. All the anger about the team leaving, and we're getting thrown a bone here and this and that. And I said to myself, I'm boycotting this. I'm having nothing to do with it. And then the closer I got to it, I said, no, this is Major League Baseball. Even if it's an exhibition game, I'm going.
Terry's the good analogy there, because it's the stages of grief, you know, denial and acceptance.
Yep.
And I think for Montrealers, that's been the last 10 years, because there was a lot of anger 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, people would have said baseball's never coming back, Major League Baseball will never step in the city again, you know, all kinds of conspiracy theories. And now, as we look at the last 3 years, I mean, and you know, I think Cromartie has said this, I think the death of Gary Carter was a catalyst where we really started to think about the history of the Expos, what we were missing, what we lost. And I think that's what's led to this week, and this what a great week it's going to be for Expos fans.
Seems like the anger has passed a little bit. Those 75,000 tickets already sold. What do you think? Do you think this is, you know, love of the game, or is it nostalgia for something lost?
All of the above.
Yeah.
You know, there's nostalgia there. We are an event city. I mean, Montreal is a party town, and I think there's a recognition. You got 2 games, first time in 10 years, this will be a party. And when you see 75,000 tickets have been sold, and we're looking at most likely a sellout on Saturday and trending towards a sellout on Friday, it's going to be a big party.
What do you think? What do you think? What are people going to be talking about after the game's over? Do you think they're going to be talking about the game, or do you think they'll be talking about how crappy it is to watch baseball in the Big O? Because that's what I really remember about the Olympic Stadium.
Well, hopefully if we get a good game, then people will be talking about the game. The thing to keep in mind, of course, is that it is an exhibition game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so there'll be moves made that don't go toward complete winning. And the other thing is, it's good to have a skin in the game. And so you're watching baseball from a sort of a rational point of view rather than a rooting point of view. So I'm not sure how that's going to play, but baseball, it's such a beautiful game in itself that if it's a good game, people will be talking about it.
That's an interesting point, actually, Terry. Like, do you think, because obviously you see, you know, spring training games, you know, they don't play their best players. They try and give, you know, the kid a chance at pitching or whatever. But do you think these managers will look at the attendance and look at the, you know, the grandiose affair of the Big O and play, you know, maybe some of their starters?
A bonus is that the teams have gone up north, so they can't bring everyone. I mean, they're bringing pretty much their team that they're going to start opening day with. I know the Mets are going to try and figure out their 5th or 4th starters during that series, even that late into spring training. But you know, once the games are over, I think for Montrealers, it's really going to be about dreams and the so-called pipe dream of getting a team back.
The Jays are also, I would tell everybody to watch this guy Kawasaki. He's coming to Montreal. Yeah. He has turned out to be my favorite ball player of all time. He played for the Jays last year. I saw him do something I've never seen. It was like a ball player do in the majors. There was a pop fly to left field. He took off like it was a double in the gap. The left fielder dropped, I think it was Holiday, dropped the ball, and Kawasaki scored. And I thought, I mean, everybody's so cool in the majors. This guy makes everybody around him better. He's a little tiny guy, and people kept saying, all the stat heads are saying, this guy doesn't hit, and he doesn't do it. I looked up the stats. The Blue Jays, when I looked it up, were 9 games over 500 when he was in the lineup.
Yeah. He adds that definite spark to the game, right?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
That's
stat
baseball needs that.
no one ever looks at, heart, which you can't put in your stat books, people.
You know what, guys? I got to say something. I didn't interrupt. You guys are sounding a lot like Toronto Blue Jays fans. And that's okay, because we don't have the Expos. But as, you know, former Expo fans, is it kind of a tough pill to swallow, or maybe the pill that Toronto is trying to feed us right now, to be the Blue Jays fan, the Canada's team fan?
I think it'd be a hard pill to swallow a year after, but you know, time heals all wounds, and I think for me personally, and I'm someone that was, you know, angry and upset when the Expos left, you know what, it's a new day, and the fact that the Blue Jays are here is because they wanted to be here, you know, so to me that's enough. They chose to play these games here, and they deserve credit for that.
All right.
Yeah, the general manager seems to have gone comatose after after making all the trades last winter and spring. He made one trade for a new catcher, but the fact of the matter is crazier things have happened. They get a new catcher that can handle the pitching staff, and maybe they contend if nobody gets hurt.
And that GM's a Montreal boy.
True.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? We're trying to take that little piece.
Yeah.
We're trying. Montrealers always do that. We're like, the concessions guy. He's from Montreal as well. No, listen. Thanks for doing this, guys. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the game, and thanks for doing this again.
No problem.
Pleasure.